I'm Liz George, and I'm a physicist. Currently, I'm a detector engineer at the European Southern Observatory. My superpower is that I'm always going to ask why and keep digging until I get a satisfactory answer. I'm told this made me a really annoying second grader. That's a playful way to describe what I do. We're trying to look at photons that have originated from all across the universe. Some of them are extremely ancient, originating from only 400,000 years after the Big Bang. What we have to do once these photons reach Earth is wrangle them into our detectors, and once we've detected them, turn them into a signal that astronomers can use. The big challenge that's facing everyone today is that access to space and technology in space is changing really quickly. We've gone from, the 1960s Cold War era of 2 nation states in space to now a pretty viable commercial access to space. The whole concept of who is acting in space has changed rapidly. The more practical answer is that right now access to space is very unequal. It's a very expensive field. It's a pretty closed ecosystem. There is becoming more commercial access to space, but it's still limited to a small number of players. Technology is pretty heavily regulated, and smaller institutions or smaller groups of people who aren't part of this ecosystem already have a tough time accessing space. So if we want more equitable access, I think international collaboration is critical to ensure that all humans on Earth have access. The thing that keeps me up at night most often is fear that I haven't done something perfectly or that I've made a mistake. And as I've gotten older, what I've realized is that nothing can ever be done perfectly. You just have to do things as well as you can and try to move forward and keep progressing. I think optimism. We're living in one of the best times for humanity as a whole, right? Child mortality is down, we're curing infectious diseases, life expectancy is up. Every year and more people are lifted out of poverty. So if you take a really big picture view of, the entire history of humanity as a whole, things are improving. So I would really love to visit a planet that is circling a star that is not like our own. But from a more practical perspective, with our current technology, getting to a planet circling another star would be quite difficult. So I think I'm going to stick with something a little closer, maybe Mars or one of the moons of Jupiter or Saturn, just so I can get there before I perish. I think the thing that I've struggled the most with is people assuming I don't know what I'm talking about. Once you develop a working relationship with people, it's pretty quickly obvious what you know and what you don't. But that kind of first encounter where people assume that I'm not an expert can be very frustrating.